One day, a message from the heavens reached the Sky General. It commanded him to bring forth a maiden from the earth, one chosen to become the Celestial Priestess. At once, the Sky General set out, flying toward the place where the maiden lived. But on the way, he noticed a strange glow rising from deep within the mountains. Curious and concerned, he sped toward the source of the mysterious light. There, he found the Shrine of Stars, tightly surrounded by soldiers. To learn what was happening, the Sky General opened his sacred site, the Holy Eye. And there, inside the shrine, he saw a fearsome tiger wraith curled up in trembling rage. Realizing something was terribly wrong, a clever idea sparked in his mind. He searched among the gathered warriors for the purest soul, and soon found him, Rowan, a young deer soldier. The Sky General turned transparent and drifted gently into Rowan's body. Rowan flinched, startled by the strange feeling.
Easy, friend.
The Sky General whispered.
Let us share your body for a while. I will lend you my strength.
Meanwhile, not far from the shrine, Lord Yavian stood beside his field tent, watching his officers argue endlessly over strategy. Unable to bear their indecision any longer, he burst out,
Order must be restored in my lands. Gather the troops at once and slay that creature. I shall lead the charge myself.
But the fox advisor quickly stepped forward.
My lord, it is far too dangerous. You are the king's cherished cousin. We cannot risk your life. Look at the soldiers who rushed in too soon,
He added, pointing toward the shrine.
We must plan carefully. Please, give us a little more time.
Yavian clicked his tongue in frustration. Though he hated to admit it, the fox's words made sense. He turned away sharply, thinking to himself,
Fools, all of them.
At that moment, something caught his eye. A young soldier was walking straight toward the front gate of the shrine.
What?
Yavian gasped. The moment the boy stepped into the courtyard, he began to move his spear in swift, dancing motions, retreating, blocking, twisting away from invisible blows.
What is that child doing? Why is he flailing about alone?
Yavian demanded. The wolf general answered calmly.
My lord, you cannot see it. Few can. The wraith is attacking him at tremendous speed, and he is blocking every strike with ease.
Hearing this, Yavian's face tightened.
How dare you speak to me like that? Mock me, will you? I'll make you pay, just as I made him pay once, proud Prince Wind.
Meanwhile, the tiger wraith suddenly halted its assault. In a trembling, grief-stricken voice, it cried,
My child, what sin did my little daughter ever commit? Why is she denied peace, even in death?
Rowan sensed the sorrow behind those words. He whispered to the spirit within him,
Sky General, please grant her rest.
And the Sky General answered gently.
Yes, I intended to do so.
Rowan lifted his spear, and a brilliant golden beam burst forth, flooding the courtyard with radiant light. When the light faded, the monstrous form vanished. In its place lay a beautiful tiger priestess. Bolina collapsed upon the ground. Rowan rushed forward and caught her before she could fall. With trembling breath, Bolina began to speak.
Please, hear my sorrow. Hear the truth I have carried alone.
And by the Sky General's magic, her voice reached every ear gathered around the shrine.
My name is Bolina, the High Sibyl of the Star Shrine. Since childhood, I carried the gift of foresight. And so, at the age of 12, I was chosen to become a shrine maiden. One dawn, Prince Wind, Lord of this land, arrived to receive an oracle. The head sibyl placed the scroll in my hands and told me to speak the prophecy myself.
O noble child of the winds, Thy gifts shall rise like morning light, yet shadows born of envy shall follow close behind. Trust not the friendly voice, for sweetness may conceal a blade. When loyalty falters at thy side, thy bright path dims to dusk.
When Prince Wind heard these words, he fell into deep thought, for the prophecy hinted at a dark fate. But I, young and foolish, saw only how radiant and noble he looked. By dawn he had made his choice. He tossed the prophecy into the brazier, laughed softly, and walked away as if unafraid of destiny itself. That was the moment my heart first learned what love was. Yet before a month had passed, news came that Prince Wind had been executed for treason. I could not show it, but inside my world shattered. For many nights I could not sleep, mourning a love I could tell no one. 5 years passed, and in that time I became the new High Sibyl. Then the new Lord Yavian visited the shrine. When I saw him, my breath caught. He looked so much like Prince Wind that my heart began to race again. And so, hidden from all eyes, my second love quietly began with the man who bore the face of my first. But love cannot blind forever. In time, I saw his true nature. Yavian was cruel, calculating. Night after night, he plotted the downfall of his rivals and delighted in their ruin. By the time I understood fully what he was, I was already carrying his child. I left him, not for myself, but for the sake of the life within me. To hide the truth that a Sibyl had borne a child, I fled in secret and gave birth to a beautiful daughter, Elin. I entrusted her to a noble couple whom I believed I could trust. They often brought Ellen to the shrine, allowing me to watch her grow from afar. Those moments were the quiet joy of my life. But when Ellen turned 14, Yavian ordered that the daughters of nobles be sent to serve in his hall, and Ellen was taken as his attendant. Still, I tried to believe it was for the best. Perhaps she will live safely under her father's protection, I told myself. If this is fate, then so be it. And so I devoted myself once more to my duties as a Sibyl, right up until last night. Exhaustion overtook me during my work, and I drifted into an unexpected sleep. In my dream, Elin appeared before me, crying,
"Mother, please take me away. I'm buried beneath the Lord's chamber floor."
When I awoke, terror seized me. Could it be true? Then, suddenly, visions of the past, not the future, rose before my eyes. Yavian had murdered her, murdered our daughter, his own child. In despair, I cursed the very gods I served. Why grant me the sight of others' futures, yet blind me to my own child's fate? And so, at dawn, I went to his manor and dug her lifeless body from beneath his wooden floor. He had tried to hide his crime, even at the cost of my daughter's peace in death. I could not forgive him, and that is how all of this came to pass.
Having heard Belina's story in full, the soldiers stood frozen in place. Unsure of what to believe, they stole anxious glances at one another, their hearts heavy with doubt. Though his crimes had been laid bare, Yavian refused to retreat.
"This is nothing but a monster's spell,"
he shouted.
"A lie meant to frame me. Wake yourselves and stand firm."
Just then, a faint blue light began to glow among the ranks. From between the soldiers stepped Rowan, walking forward slowly as a calm, otherworldly presence flowed from his body. Fear flickered across Yavian's face.
"Seize him at once,"
he barked. Yavian's loyal generals rushed ahead, blocking Rowan's path.
Have you lost your mind?
They shouted.
How dare a mere soldier question the sins of royal blood?
At that moment, the Sky General emerged from Rowan's body and strode forward. So dignified was his presence that every soldier instinctively stepped back. Masking his fear with arrogance, Yavian sneered.
Who are you to stand before me? A general from some distant land? Do you even know who I am?
A flash of golden light struck, and Yavian was hurled backward before he could even blink. Shaking with terror, he scrambled to his feet and cried out,
Wait, General, please. I am the king's cousin.
Another burst of golden light, this time deep into his abdomen. Yavian collapsed to his knees, overwhelmed by pain. The Sky General looked down at him and spoke calmly.
Then let that noble mouth confess the sins it has committed.
Suddenly, a pillar of golden light descended from the heavens, enveloping Yavian's body. Hearing the truth with their own ears, the soldiers stood in stunned silence, horror etched across their faces. Hearing the truth with their own ears, the soldiers stood in stunned silence, horror etched across their faces. Then, beside the Sky General, Bolina's spirit appeared. Tears falling softly, she whispered,
Please, take me with you now.
The Sky General took her hand, and together they began to rise. Below them, Rowan called out,
What will become of the one who sinned, my lord?
Smiling gently, the Sky General answered,
Sins committed upon the earth must be judged upon the earth. That duty now belongs to you.
And with that, he ascended with Bolina into the sky until the two became a single point of light and vanished beyond the heavens. 6 months passed. Rowan became a simple worker at the Star Shrine. He swept the courtyard, chopped firewood, and lived each quiet day in peace. One evening, while walking alone along the mountain path, Rowan met an old raccoon herbalist.
Young man,
The hermit said,
grant me a favor.
Anything you ask.
Rowan replied.
Tell me what truly happened on the day Priestess Bolina left this place.
Rowan smiled gently, as if speaking to someone he had known all along, and told the story carefully, without leaving a single detail behind. When his tale reached the part where Yavian was purified and confessed his crimes, the hermit could no longer hold his curiosity.
Then tell me,
He asked sharply.
why did that man kill his own daughter?
Rowan chuckled softly.
You truly are a sacred being.
He said,
So many questions in your heart.
and he began to speak of Yavian's sins. Yavian bore an uncanny resemblance to his cousin, Prince Wind, not only in face, but in presence. From childhood, Wind stood before him like a teacher guiding him, correcting him, shining far ahead. Yet praise and admiration always belonged to Wind alone. Yavian was left with nothing but comparisons and silence. Whenever Prince Wind repelled invaders and earned glory on the battlefield, his light grew ever brighter, and Yavian's shadow only grew longer. But Yavian was not alone in his bitterness. The eldest prince felt the same sting. They say the enemy of one's enemy becomes a friend, so the two drew close, and Yavian came to believe the eldest prince must inherit the throne. Then, one day, a thunderbolt of news struck. A royal eunuch whispered words he had overheard spoken by the king in drink, late at night.
Prince Wind would make a worthy king.
And so, Yavian chose to act. He spread a cruel rumor that Prince Wind and the youngest consort had shared forbidden affection. The whisper reached the king's ears, and Prince Wind was executed for treason. The court mourned in public, but two men rejoiced in secret. As years passed, the eldest prince rose to crown prince, his succession all but assured. Then, another bolt from the heavens.
The eldest is unfit for the throne. Perhaps the youngest would be better.
Fear seized Yavian's heart. Leaning on the eldest's power, He had mercilessly ground the youngest into dust. At last, he made his decision, and the eunuch, now bound to his will, carried it out. The eldest prince ascended the throne, and Yavian inherited Prince Wind's lands. But secrets never truly vanish. When Yavian sought to silence those who knew the truth, the quick-witted eunuch fled. Time passed, undisturbed, until one day, a maid approached him and spoke of his sins. Yavian knew at once. She had met the eunuch, and he forced the truth from her lips. At last, he hunted down the one who knew his secrets and erased him. Yet still, one bearer of truth remained. She was his own daughter, and though he knew it, he believed only silence could free him from his crimes. When the story ended, the hermit burst with rage.
To hide his crimes, he took his own child's life? Then tell me, what did you do with Yavian?
Rowan raised his hand and pointed deep into the dark forest. The hermit followed his gaze and noticed a broad, silent stone resting in the shadows.
That day,
Rowan said,
the Sky General entrusted Yavian to us and departed. We spoke long and argued even longer.
He is the king's cousin. If sent to the palace, he will soon be freed.
Some said,
a man who broke heaven's law and murdered his own child would walk the world again without punishment.
He might even return to rule.
We see it now. If that ever happens, none who know the truth will live long.
So, that day, we made a grave decision. Together, we dug a deep pit with our own hands. Yavian and his loyal followers somehow found themselves at the bottom of a deep pit, and upon it, we placed that stone you see there now.
The hermit nodded slowly.
There is no shame in that. A criminal who escapes judgment eventually becomes a monster and commits even greater sins.
Rowan smiled.
To be praised by the goddess of wisdom, that truly makes me happy.
At those words, the hermit laughed, and in a sudden burst of light revealed her true form.
There is one more thing I must thank you for, Rowan,
she said.
You cared for a poor young soul wandering without a body all this time.
The goddess gently drew Ellen's spirit from Rowan.
Child,
she whispered.
It is time to go beyond.
Like drifting smoke, the goddess and Elin faded into the night. Rowan bowed deeply in farewell. When he straightened again, a small bronze bell glowing with golden light rested in his hands. And a soft whisper followed.
Rowan, from this day on, no spirit shall enter or speak to you without your permission.